Welcome to a world of wonder, where animals teach us timeless lessons through magical fairy tales. Today's special episode, 10 enchanting animal fairy tales to enjoy with your little ones. Get ready for heartwarming adventures filled with courage, kindness, and friendship. From the deep forests to sparkling rivers, every tale brings a valuable lesson and a touch of magic. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pets Joy Moments for more beautiful stories. Now, let's dive into our first enchanting tale. Story: The Tiger and the Darkness. In a dense jungle, there lived a young tiger, strong and mighty. But he had one secret. He was afraid of the dark. Every night, he would curl up in his cave, trembling at the sounds of the wind and the shifting shadows under the moonlight. The darkness is so scary. Who knows what's lurking out there? You are the king of the jungle, yet you fear the night? Don't let fear control you. The tiger decided to face his fear. He stepped out of the cave, but each time a shadow moved, he flinched and hesitated. Tiger whispered to himself, "I can do this. Just one step at a time." Remember, darkness is only frightening when you let it rule your mind. As he ventured deeper, the tiger saw a giant shadow moving on the ground. His heart pounded, and he instinctively stepped back. Something's there. It's following me. Look closer. Don't let fear deceive you. The tiger took a deep breath and examined the shadow. Then he burst into laughter. It was just his own. It was just my own shadow? I was scared of myself? See? Fear is just an illusion when we don't understand it. From that night on, the tiger was no longer afraid of the dark. He learned that true courage comes not from being fearless, but from facing fears head-on. Tiger, the night isn't scary anymore. It's just a part of the jungle. And a part of me. Now you understand. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to overcome it. And so, the tiger conquered his fear. This story teaches us that courage is not about never being afraid, but about facing and understanding our fears. Story: The Mouse and the Cheese. In a small village deep in an old bakery lived a little gray mouse named Milo. He was clever, but had one weakness. He loved cheese more than anything in the world. Cheese, I must have it all. Old cat smirking, watching from the shadows. Ah, a greedy little mouse. Let's see how far his hunger will take him. Milo had already taken a big piece of cheese, but it wasn't enough. He wanted more and more. Just one more piece, or maybe two, or maybe three. Keep going, little one. Let your greed guide you. But Milo's greed blinded him. As he reached for one last piece, he heard a sharp click. The floor beneath him moved. He was caught in a trap. What? No, this can't be happening. The more you take, the greater the risk. Milo closed his eyes, expecting the worst. But instead of attacking, the cat just chuckled and walked away. Milo. I'm still alive? Old cat. Greed is a trap, little one. Be grateful for what you have before you lose it all. From that day on, Milo still loved cheese, but he learned to take only what he needed, never letting greed control him again. A little cheese is enough. I don't need it all. And so, Milo learned a valuable lesson. Greed can be a trap, and sometimes having just enough is the best thing of all. Story: The Frog and the Well. Deep in the heart of a quiet village, hidden behind thick green grass, lay an old stone well. Inside it lived a small frog named Toby. Having never left the well, Toby believed it was the entire world. Toby, stretching lazily on a rock. Ah, life is perfect. Cool water, cozy stones, and food falling from the sky. What more could anyone need? Wise eagle, calling from above. Little frog, have you ever seen the world beyond this well? Toby laughed at the eagle's question. To him, the well was perfect. Why would he need anything else? World beyond the well? Don't be silly. My well has everything: water, food, and plenty of space. Oh, little frog, your world is much smaller than you think. Determined to prove the eagle wrong, Toby decided to climb out. But as he reached the top, his eyes widened in shock. Toby, the sky? It's so big. The trees? They never end. The world is vast, little frog. Your well was just a drop in the ocean. With the eagle as his guide, Toby explored fields, rivers, and mountains, realizing how little he had known. So many colors. So many creatures. This is incredible. Knowledge grows when you open your eyes. Finally, Toby returned to his well, but he was no longer the same. He had seen the world and understood how small his old beliefs had been. Toby, smiling to himself, my well is cozy, but the world is full of wonders. I'll never stop exploring. That's the spirit, little frog. Keep learning. Keep growing. And so, Toby learned an important lesson. Our world is only as big as we allow ourselves to see. Never let a small well define your life when a whole world is waiting outside. Story: The Weasel and the Mouse. Deep in the heart of the golden wheat fields, a small mouse named Milo scurried along a dirt path. He was cautious but cheerful, always looking for new adventures. One day he met a sleek, cunning weasel named Felix, who greeted him with a charming smile. Milo, curious but wary. Hello, Felix. What are you doing out here in the fields? Felix. Oh, just looking for a friend to share a feast with. I know where we can find the biggest pile of seeds you've ever seen. Felix had always been known for his smooth words, but deep down he had a habit of tricking others. He promised Milo a grand feast, but in reality, he had other plans. Milo. Really, that sounds amazing, but where is this pile of seeds? Just beyond that old hollow log. Follow me, and you'll see. As soon as Milo stepped near the hollow log, he suddenly realized something was wrong. There were no seeds, only sharp claws and hungry eyes waiting for him. Wait, there's nothing here. Felix, you tricked me. Oh, little Milo, the only feast here is you. But Milo was not as helpless as Felix thought. With a quick leap, he dashed toward the thick wheat stalks, dodging Felix's claws just in time. You won't catch me that easily, liar. Get back here, you little pest. Milo escaped safely, but Felix's deception came back to haunt him. As he chased the mouse, he didn't see the hunter's trap hidden beneath the wheat. With a sudden snap, Felix found himself caught. No, this isn't fair. Milo, watching from afar, shaking his head. Lies always lead to trouble, Felix. Maybe next time, you'll learn. And so, Felix learned that dishonesty leads to its own downfall. While Milo walked away wiser, Felix was left to face the consequences of his deceit. Honesty builds trust, but lies will always trap you in the end. Story: The Dolphin and the Storm. The ocean stretched endlessly under the golden sun, shimmering like liquid sapphire. Beneath the waves, a young dolphin named Kai swam gracefully, his smooth silver-blue body gliding through the water. Nearby, his wise mentor, an older dolphin named Naru, watched over him, excitedly spinning in the water. The sea is so calm today, Naru. I could swim forever. Yes, Kai. But remember, the ocean is always changing. Enjoy the calm, but be ready for the storms. As the day passed, the wind picked up, and the once clear sky darkened with heavy clouds. Kai noticed the change and felt a shiver of unease. Naru, the sky, it looks angry. Serious, but a storm is coming, Kai. This is when we must remember who we are. Dolphins are not afraid of the sea. We become one with it. With a deafening roar, the storm unleashed its fury. Towering waves crashed around them, the wind howled, and lightning split the sky. Kai struggled against the chaos, panic gripping his heart. Struggling against the waves. Naru, the waves are too strong. I can't do this. Breathe, Kai. Don't fight the ocean. Move with it. Trust yourself. Taking a deep breath, Kai watched Naru and mimicked his movements. Instead of fighting, he rode the waves, letting the ocean guide him. The storm still raged, but now Kai was part of it, not a victim of it. Kai, determined, breathing deeply. Move with the waves, not against them. I can do this. Yes, Kai, you are stronger than you know. At last, the storm passed. The clouds drifted away, revealing a sky painted with warm golden hues. Kai floated on the now calm waves, his heart still pounding but full of pride. He had faced the storm and conquered it. I did it. I faced the storm. Yes, Kai, you learned what every true sailor of the sea knows. The storm does not defeat you. It teaches you how to rise above it. And so, Kai learned the greatest lesson of the ocean. Storms will come, but those who adapt, who move with the waves instead of against them, will always find their way through. Courage is not about avoiding fear. It is about facing it with wisdom and strength. Story: The Squirrel and the Magic Acorn. In a lush green forest, there lived a small squirrel named Nutty. He was clever but had a habit of hoarding all the acorns for himself, never wanting to share. One day, he found a strange, glowing acorn under an ancient oak tree. Nutty, sparkling. Wow, a magical acorn. This must be a treasure. Bunny, approaching curiously. Nutty, what did you find? And clutching the acorn tightly. Oh, nothing, just a regular acorn. Nutty took the acorn back to his nest and hid it carefully in his storage. But strangely, every morning when he woke up, the number of acorns in his stash kept increasing. Nutty, what's happening? I only had one acorn, but now I have hundreds. Maybe it's a magic acorn. What if you shared it with others? Nutty, shaking head, hugging the pile of acorns. No way. These are mine. I won't share with anyone. A few days later, a terrible storm swept through the forest. The heavy rain and strong winds made it impossible for the animals to find food. Nutty looked outside and saw his friends shivering in hunger. Bunny, can you share some acorns? We haven't eaten for 2 days. Nutty holding his acorns tightly. But if I give them away, I'll have less for myself. But if you keep them all and don't help anyone, what's the use of your treasure? Nutty finally understood. He decided to bring out the magic acorns and share them with his friends. Miraculously, as the acorns were shared, they never ran out. Instead, they multiplied even more. Nutty. Here, everyone. Let's get through this storm together. See? When we share, true magic happens. From that day on, Nutty was no longer selfish. He realized that the greatest treasure wasn't what he owned, but the joy of sharing with friends. Story: The Lion and the Porcupine. In a dense and lush jungle, there was a mighty and powerful lion, considered the king of all animals. One day, while wandering through the forest, the lion stumbled upon a small porcupine busily foraging for food. Lion: a tiny porcupine? You look so weak. Maybe I should test how sharp your quills really are. Porcupine: you may be the king of the jungle, but sometimes strength alone is not enough. The lion wanted to test what the little porcupine could do. He reached out with his paw to push the porcupine gently, but immediately a sharp quill pricked his paw. Lion, pulling back his... Ouch! Your quills are really sharp, but I won't give up so easily. You may be strong, but strength alone doesn't always win. The lion realized that not everything could be solved with brute force. Curious, he asked the porcupine how such a small creature could stand up to a powerful one like him. Lion: I always believed that only the strongest could survive, but you've made me reconsider. Porcupine: It's not always the strongest who win. Sometimes intelligence and patience are the greatest weapons. The lion realized that strength isn't always the answer, and that intelligence and cleverness are just as important. He left with a valuable lesson in mind. I understand now. Strength can help me win battles, but wisdom helps me survive in the long run. Then you have learned today's lesson. Living in the jungle isn't just about strength, it's also about wisdom. From that day forward, the lion no longer underestimated small creatures. He understood that strength is not always the solution, and that wisdom can resolve problems peacefully. Every animal has its own strengths. I've learned that strength isn't everything. Porcupine. And wisdom is the greatest weapon of all. And so the story of the lion and the porcupine teaches us that wisdom and cleverness are just as important as strength. Never underestimate the power of intelligence and patience. Story: The Bear and the Butterfly. In a dense forest where sunlight filtered through the lush green leaves lived a large, shaggy brown bear who always kept to himself. One day, while wandering in search of honey, he accidentally met a tiny butterfly with vibrant, colorful wings fluttering among the flowers. "Who are you? You're so small, yet you dare to fly near me?" "I'm Butterfly. I saw you walking alone and just wanted to say hello." The bear had never had a friend before, but the butterfly's cheerful nature made him feel comfortable. From then on, these two opposites, one large, one small, slowly became friends. "Aren't you afraid of me?" "Butterfly, why should I be? You look kind." One day, as the bear slept, a group of hunters entered the forest, setting traps everywhere. The butterfly saw them and quickly searched for a way to warn his friend. "Bear, wake up. There's danger." "There, sleepy, opening one eye. What's happening?" The tiny butterfly was clever. It flew swiftly, distracting the hunters and leading them away, giving the bear a chance to escape. "Hey, look at me. Over here." "Thank you, Butterfly. I will never forget this." Thanks to the butterfly's quick thinking, the bear was safe. From that day on, the bear realized that strength alone couldn't solve every problem. Sometimes, wisdom and kindness were even more powerful. There. I used to think only the strong survive. But now I see that kindness and intelligence are stronger than muscles. That's right. And now we're friends forever. The story of the bear and the butterfly teaches us that friendship can come from the most unexpected places. Sometimes gentleness and intelligence can overcome hardships better than strength alone. Have you ever had a special friend like that? Story: The Rabbit and the Squirrel. A tale of friendship and sharing. In a peaceful forest, there lived a playful rabbit and a lively squirrel. They were the best of friends, always playing together. But one day a challenge tested their friendship. One autumn morning, the rabbit and the squirrel found something special, an enormous golden acorn glowing in the sunlight. "It's magical," the squirrel exclaimed, "but who would keep it?" "I found it first," the squirrel declared, hugging the acorn tightly. "But we found it together," the rabbit replied, looking sad. The squirrel turned away, refusing to share. The rabbit, heartbroken, left in silence. That night, a fierce storm raged through the forest. The strong winds shook the trees, and suddenly, the golden acorn was blown away. The squirrel ran after it, but the wind was too strong. Just then, the rabbit appeared. The rabbit and squirrel chased after the acorn together. When they finally caught it, the squirrel realized sharing was more important than keeping it all. "Let's share it," the squirrel said with a smile. And from that day on, their friendship was stronger than ever. True friendship isn't about keeping things to yourself. It's about sharing and caring for each other. The rabbit and the squirrel learned that when you share, happiness grows. Have you ever shared something special with a friend? Tell us in the comments below. Story: The Crocodile in the River, a lesson in caution and trust. Deep in the jungle, a wide and peaceful river flowed, home to many creatures. Among them was a clever but cunning crocodile, waiting for his next victim. One day a young deer wandered to the river, thirsty and unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface. "Little deer," the crocodile spoke smoothly, "you look thirsty. Come closer and I will help you find the sweetest water in the river." The deer hesitated but was tempted by the offer. From above, a wise old parrot watched the scene. "Be careful, little one," the parrot warned. "The crocodile is not your friend." The deer froze, realizing the danger just in time. The deer stepped back. "I think I'll find water elsewhere," it said. The crocodile lunged, but the deer was quick. It dashed into the trees, safe from harm. "That was close," the deer panted. The parrot flew beside it and said, "Remember, not everyone who speaks kindly has good intentions. Be careful who you trust." The deer nodded, a little wiser than before. The world is full of kind and honest friends, but also tricky ones. Always listen to your instincts and be careful of those who might deceive you. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to be cautious? Tell us in the comments. And that wraps up our journey through 10 enchanting animal fairy tales to enjoy with your little ones. Each story reminds us of the magic in kindness, courage, and friendship. Which tale was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button to join us for more heartwarming stories at Pets Joy Moments. See you in the next adventure. Until then, keep the magic alive.